It's a special night, Mr. David Carl, season 3, episode 16, and we're on location for this one.
We're out on the road.
Out on the road.
Only the second time I think we've ever done that.
I think the only other time we've done it is with a mutual friend of ours at Xnova, but we're hanging out with our friends at Sheehan Winery, and we are stoked.
Yeah, excited to be out here hanging out with Sean Sheehan. Sean, your exact title, I mean, I know you run the joint, but what's your title here?
Run the joint.
Run the joint, that's right. That's right. I think my business card says owner and winemaker. Yeah, but you can tack on any number of other tasks from truck driver to head janitor.
Other duties as assigned.
As assigned, exactly, as needed.
Well, we're out here for a reason.
Yes.
We're hanging out again here at Sheehan Winery. Come on down if you are in the area in Old Town, or if you're not in Old Town, if you like driving. We'll be coming out with us, trying some of the excellent wines out here. Why are we out here?
We are out here because we are excited to be announcing our partnership with New Mexico United.
Yeah, let's go.
We're launching Vinos Unidos.
That's right. And New Mexico United, for the first time in our history, has a line of wines with Sheehan Winery. Again, one of the best wineries in the state, award-winning winery. I'm looking at a whole bunch of medals over there across the tasting room.
Did you make those yourself?
Oh yes, we have a forge in the back. All those gold medals were. No, we've been very fortunate at the state wine competition. We did win the best wine in the state 3 years in a row at the state fair, and this last year we were lucky, fortunate, maybe talented enough to win 8 gold medals, which is a new record for us. I'll take it, man.
Yeah.
Help sell the wine, and it fills my heart with so much joy.
Well, it's a combination of luck, fortune, people loving it, but what you said, the hard work. You guys do not mess around when it comes to wine.
That is exactly right. The winery basically has 2 goals, kind of 1A and 1B. 1A being to make the best wine that's ever been made in the state of New Mexico, and 1B for myself and all the people who will help us, from our growers, to our lovely people in the tasting room, to my people who help me in the winery, and everybody in between, including my dear mother, who loves the winery maybe more than I do. Shout out Mama Sheehan. That's right. Dude.
We've had our moms on the podcast.
I love it. For all of us to be happy, for all of us to be filled with joy as often as possible.
Well, here on United Sessions, we are big on celebrating all things New Mexico, all things New Mexican art, all things that celebrate New Mexico's in and of themselves. This is a big version of that. A couple people in the chat. Kevin, hello. How you doing? Cassandra, hello. AJ FIFA Mobile. I don't think that's your real name, but hello. But no,
FIFA Mobile is a great last name.
That's a good game, actually. But no, we love celebrating all things New Mexico, and one of the things that we really enjoy, that you guys are really good at too, is taking New Mexico and being really proud of it. Taking what we do here, whether that's in art or sports or music or wine or anything in between, and celebrating it. Talk a little bit about your pride in New Mexico, and then I want to circle all the way back to talking about these 3. There's going to be 3 of them. Wines, Vinos Unidos.
Yes. Well, I come by it honestly. I was born at Presbyterian Hospital on Central. Went to Montezuma, went to Jefferson, went down Freaky High, that's right, and New Mexico through and through. And to be honest, I am so proud of our state and proud of the amazing things that we can do. Before the pod, we were just talking and chatting a little bit about one of the things that we as a wine industry do is we all root for each other. We all cheer for each other. We won 8 gold medals this year, but I'm so proud of all the other wineries that won gold medals too. I'm so proud of all the other wineries that are doing great things. We just got some of our first 90-point scores in the national magazines, and when I see other New Mexico wineries doing that, it fills me with so much joy, because for all of us, it is not us competing against each other. It's New Mexico against the world. Yeah. When people think of Napa, maybe they think of Cabernet. I think of auto parts, man. Like for us, dude, we are so full of energy and so excited about what we're doing as an industry. I mean, right now we are planting 200,000 vines in this state in the next 2 years. We were fortunate enough to get not me, but the entire New Mexico wine industry was fortunate enough to get a grant from the New Mexico legislature, which basically provides the replacement cost or the cost of each individual vine for growers throughout the state. So we got $1 million in grant money from the New Mexico legislature. And that the thing now is we're growing, we're exploding. And it's a little different than breweries or distilleries. We can't just order more grain and make more product. We have to put these vines in the ground.
Right.
And it's going to be 4 years, 5 years, 6 years until we have product. And so all of us can feel the tidal wave. We can feel the momentum of us moving forward. We can feel the explosion of energy and excitement about New Mexico wine. And so all of us are saying, ooh,
Yeah.
we better plant some vines.
You're on the front foot. That's
Yes,
the most important
exactly.
thing. Not behind the curve. You've been able to, weatherman style predict what's coming, and that's a good thing.
And this was a little bit off the cuff DWC, but do you see any parallels with what we did with the film industry? Right?
Yeah.
We invested so much in bringing in film and having it sort of film, and now we see, oh my God, I'm going to make so many terrible wine jokes, but now we see the fruits of those labors, right?
You're stealing my punchline, man.
But do you see a real parallel with that?
100%. And to see that that we are able to go up to the Roundhouse and make a compelling argument for vines in New Mexico, for our industry as a whole being something that, it's amazing because we have every aspect of our culture is represented. Where we've got people farming. We have one of our favorite farmers, this guy named Gary Miller. He's an 80-year-old man. He's been tending his vineyard for more than 40 years.
Wow.
And he was starting to lose hope as far as whether he was going to be able to sell all his grapes. In fact, the very first year, we got some of the grapes from him for free. And he said, man, just see if you can make it work. See if you can make something good out of it. And those grapes are the core of our wine that's called Old Feist here at Sheehan Winery that we actually won the best wine in the state for in 2019. And then we buy every grape he grows, man. We buy every grape he grows. And so for me to get these farmers all across the state, I mean, we buy from, 13, 14, 15 small growers throughout the state. I mean, as far up as Abiquiu, we've got a relationship with the Nambe tribe. They do some farming for us up in Kauake. We've got people, as far east as Portales, as far west as the Continental Divide, and as far south as the border. And so we've got all these people in New Mexico pulling together to make the very best wine possible. And so for us also, we're seeing that the growers have pride. I just talked to a grower in Cruces 2 days ago, and she said, I want you to have my grapes because I want to be able to taste the fruits of my labor. I want to know that you're going to make good wine from my grapes. And we bought her grapes last year because she didn't have a buyer and she was kind of in between. And then she tasted the stuff and she was like, this is amazing. This is awesome. And then I was like, we'll figure out the price. I mean, literally, we'll figure out the price later. Tell me whatever you think is fair. But I want to support people who are passionate and who are sending me pictures of their vineyard. They're sending me videos from the vineyard where they're like, look how beautiful it looks. Look at our fruit set. Look at our bud break. Look at how amazing my vineyard. They have all this pride. And that pride permeates the entirety of the industry.
Well, I think you got it in the chat here too. Kevin says New Mexicans doing big things for New Mexico.
100%.
Robert in the chat says New Mexico was the OG winemaking region before we were even a state.
That's right. 1629. It's 1629.
Getting close to 400 years
That's right.
of wine in this state, which is absolutely unbelievable. A lot of people, including Tyler, saying, I need one of each, please. Clint says 3. I want them all. And he also says, tell me more about these United wines. So let's dive into it.
We're going to dive into it, but before we get into that, just a note.
Hold off. Lucas is going to cut me off.
Just to break the fourth wall. Can you bring a little bit of energy, please?
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. We
need to be excited about this show.
I'm trying.
Yeah. So do you like wine or? But no, I mean, so 3 wines, Vinos Unidos. Walk us through it. What are we looking at?
Can we have some wine?
Oh yeah. What are we drinking?
This is our Vinos Unidos Cinsault Rosé. Cheers.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Cheers. That's good natural sound.
Mm-hmm. That's crystal.
Nice.
That's right. Only the best.
Nice.
Sheehan Winery. That's right.
It's
So
delicious.
with these grapes, the rosé is coming from the southern part of the state. We do really well with our whites and our rosés from the southern part of the state because they do really well with a warmer climate. With this rosé, I'm very proud of it, mostly because it shows the evolution of our winemaking, the evolution of our process. Ultimately, as a winemaker, I'm the shepherd. People work really hard to make these amazing grapes, and it's my job to not mess it up. to do, you know, and
and do those grapes just
yeah, exactly. And so the very first year we got these grapes, these Cinsault grapes from, you know, the Las Cruces area, we honestly over extracted it. The way that you make, so quick wine lesson, I promise I'll be brief, but
no, we like learning.
all right, cool. Let's nerd out a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I wish we had a nerd out song.
We should. We do it every episode. It's just our theme music.
well, let's nerd out a little bit on how we make the wine. Basically, with red wine, white wine, and with rosé wine, all of the juice is clear. The only way that red wine turns red is by touching the skins. So that when we make a red wine, we basically crush those grapes up, separate them from the stems in a machine aptly named a destemmer, takes the grapes off the stems and puts them directly into a tank, at which point we're going to try to reintroduce that juice to the skins over and over and over again. In a small tank, we'll do that by hand, which is where you get all these muscles, is punching down. You know, it's really hard work.
We've got a lot of muscles. Churning butter.
Well, thankfully I have help now. I think that's exactly right. Used to be real impressive, but blessedly now I have help in the winery. So with a smaller tank, I'd say a tank that will take 1 ton of fruit. You can do it by hand, which is a very gentle process and is really good for gentle extraction, good for lighter wines. When you want to make a bigger, stronger wine, something like a Cabernet or a Syrah, you will hook up a pump to the bottom of that tank and pump the juice over as many as 5 times a day. It's more like steeping tea than anything, where you're just constantly trying to reintroduce the juice to the skins over and over again. That's how you make red wine. And then the reason we have wine at all is to be happy, to be loved, but also to preserve the calories from the harvest. So the reason that we have beer, we have wine, eventually we have distilled spirits, is because before refrigeration, you grow all these grapes, and what are you going to do with them? They're good for what, like a week, if you're lucky? Yeah. So we have to mash them up. We add some yeast, exactly. We may dry some. That's a good plan, and that's why we have bacon, right? We have bacon. We have bacon because we want to, salt. Exactly. We want to make sure that we're able to eat all of that stuff that we work so hard to raise.
That makes sense.
And so we add yeast to the tank, and the yeast is our buddy, because it is the thing that eats sugar and produces alcohol,
right?
Which we love. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It's one of my favorite.
I like Saccharomyces cerevisiae.
See,
it's my favorite organism. It makes us love, it makes us happy. But with our rosé, it's not red and it's not white, it's somewhere in between, right? And so the first year that we made the Cinsault rosé, we left it on the skins too long. We over extracted it and we almost made red wine.
It was darker.
Yeah. Okay. But we tried to sell it as rosé, which was not smart.
Okay.
Dark.
Tough start.
Yeah. We thought, so 2014 was
super blush.
First crack at rosé. It was a bold rosé. Subsequent, steps down the road, we now have something that's really light, really bright, really fruit forward, something that's really refreshing. You look at the color and you smell how aromatic and juicy it is, and you think it's going to be sweet, but it is actually the most refreshing thing on a hot day. Yeah. Finishes nice and crisp, nice and clean, nice and dry.
I could absolutely drink this on a summer day. 100%.
Well, I agree with both of you on that. I disagree with Sean on this point that was going to be the poison wine. So.
It's really concise.
I have a follow-up, maybe a dumb question.
Yeah.
Right, so you talked about the way we get red wine is by having, what was it, you said like
so you have these red grapes.
The juices
touch the skin over.
Yeah, like you with sunscreen.
Right, perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great example, right? And also turns red. Makes sense. So in that process, if the juice didn't touch the skin over and over again, it would remain a clear wine.
That's right.
This is probably a dumb question, but I would imagine touching the skin over and over again, in addition to changing the color, also severely changes the taste.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah,
So you couldn't have a white Cabernet, I guess is what I'm getting at, right? I know it's a stupid question from a not wine person, but I'm just understanding the science.
So they make, we've all heard of white Zinfandel.
Sure.
And there is white Merlot, there is white Cabernet. That is a trade name for pink Cabernet, pink Zinfandel. And so when we make this, so yes, all of the flavor for red wine basically comes from the skins, in addition to the color, in addition to something called tannin, which is the kind of body of the wine, the structure that makes it a really good pairing for something like a steak. You know, if you want this big red wine, you're gonna want some of that tannin to help stand up to some really hearty food.
Lucas, do you have a favorite wine style?
Well, he's brought up bacon and steak.
Yeah,
I'm
you're after
just
our own
like,
words.
I'm just like,
I'm hungry.
can we have that?
Can we get a Cabernet and steak, please?
But no, I had a drink of this, and I'm not going to argue with the master of the person who put this together, but that is crisp. It is refreshing. It is delicious.
So it's funny.
Favorite wine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You asked me an actual question.
Yeah, and then you ignored it. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So I'm a cab guy.
Yeah, me too.
But
Me
yeah,
too.
I love what he's doing with this one right here.
Well, it's funny. So when I first tried wine, I started, and I'm assuming this is probably a pretty common route. I started with blush wines.
Yep.
With rosé.
Yep.
Probably because it was sweet,
Mhm.
right? And then worked my way to white wine, and then worked my way to red wine, and then found a place that I really liked, like a good bold cabinet.
Awesome.
It took me a while to get there, and I still love white wine. I still love a good blush wine, all those kinds of things. But I imagine that's probably a pretty common route for people maybe discovering wine for the first time. You think?
Absolutely. I think that a lot of folks come to their first wine festival, 21, 22.
18.
Well,
no, not allowed.
As a producer, Linnea, and you, Robert.
As a board member for the New Mexico Wine Association, I would like to say
we didn't say
I'm sorry, Sean.
we didn't say we condone it. We don't condone it.
No.
I'm sure it does happen.
Oh,
Anyway,
100 times.
Back to the
not
legal
1,000.
stuff.
So yes, I think that that's a very common pathway. Is that when I see young consumers coming up to our booth at Memorial Day, Wine Festival of Olympia.
Come on, we're going to talk about.
Oh yeah, we are. It is not fair to stereotype, but I often will say, "Do you guys like Moscato?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Can I get you a little Riesling?
Sure.
We got this really wonderful sweet white blend that I'd
I
like
love
to
the
introduce you."
Riesling. I love the
Oh,
Riesling.
beautiful.
And again, it's often situational. It's often what you pair with. It's often what the weather's like. All these kinds of
Well, the
things.
pairing.
Company.
I mean, the pairing is New Mexican food.
Mhm.
So part of the reason that sweet wines are so popular in New Mexico is that spicy food, the number one thing to pair with spicy food is something like Riesling.
Makes sense.
So the sweetness can cut the spice.
Little green chili and Riesling.
Heck yeah,
Oh, that
man.
sounds
Heck
great.
yeah, let's go.
Today, Medina wants to know if you guys can make a Lucas wine.
Yeah.
Lucas, what would a Lucas wine be like? Tell me about
It'd be salty.
that. Okay, I do not want a Lucas wine. Thank you. It's just a glass of salt water. Okay, great. Black Diamonds want to know which is the tailgate wine.
Oh. You know what? I think all three of the wines.
That's the right
Yeah,
answer.
for reals. For reals, all of them.
Depends on what you're tailgating. What the
Of
food
course,
you got on
like
the grill,
if
right?
you're grilling up some
Steak
steaks,
tacos.
man, yeah, if you're grilling up some carne asada tacos, we got a beautiful Cabernet that we're going to talk about here in a sec.
Yeah.
If you're just chilling, chips and salsa, man, this rosé, beautiful.
Yeah.
Really great pairing for just hanging out. We often say with food or without.
Yeah.
Just be chilling, enjoying, kicking a soccer ball around. Got yourself, your little silicone, wine glass, and you're just kicking around, enjoying it.
Yeah.
We are looking forward to doing some tailgating with all of you guys.
Yes.
We look forward to pouring some samples and getting you guys turned on to these wines pre-game at many, if not all, of the New Mexico United home games.
We're looking forward to that. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to meet the other two wines in the Vinos Unidos as well. But before we do that, really important in chat. DJ Ortiz says, "I bet Lucas was a Boone's guy back in Columbus." Boone's Farm, blue wine. Let's go.
While we take this break, Dave, we're going to try and get Sean popped out.
Yeah, Sean,
We're
we need a little bit of energy.
I'm trying, guys.
Pretend like you like wine. Oh my gosh. We'll be right back. We're going to meet those other two wines. We're going to talk about the wine festival coming up over the holiday and a lot more. Welcome back into United Sessions. We are on the road today. We are over at Sheehan Winery in Old Town tasting. Come on out and hang out with us. Come say hi. Come try some of the brand new, just announced on this year program, Vinos Unidos. Really excited about that. We have just tried, here's the first segment, blush wine.
Rosé.
Sorry.
Oh, here's a more nerding out.
Please, yes.
So there's
This is Sean Sheehan.
Yeah, that's right.
He needed
That's
knowledge.
what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's right. So blush wine actually refers to white wine that has red wine added to it.
This is good
So
to
that's
know.
what blush is.
This is so helpful.
Whereas rosé are red grapes that just touch the skin a little bit.
Yeah.
In the case of this wine, the improvement we've made, instead of crushing grapes up, putting them in the tank and leaving them overnight, so we accidentally make red wine.
Yep.
We now crush the grapes directly into our press. We go eat a couple tacos, about an hour of skin contact, and then we press them off. And that's how we get this beautiful.
Must it be comparable?
Oh yeah, dude, it's
Yeah,
hard.
of course.
It's hard.
Also, did every one person listening to this podcast / watching imagine when I said blush wine just
recoil and
yeah,
horror.
absolutely.
You're such a clod.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
correct. That's correct. I am an idiot. Send your complaints to Lucas.
They could just do info.
Well, this is wonderful. But Sean, we're gonna meet. Okay, I think 2 additional members of the Vinos Unidos family.
Absolutely.
So we'll start a little darker.
We are. We're gonna pour a little bit of the. Oh well, this is just alcohol use.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
I hate everything.
Yeah, this is terrible. This should not be allowed.
I thought I liked it.
I thought I liked Anne. I thought I liked Anne.
Is it Anne's fault?
Oh yes.
Shout out Anne.
I'm sorry, you guys.
And thank you very much.
Thank you for keeping us
Most of
sober-ish on this fine
This is
podcast.
my fault.
Also, I want to before we dive into this beautiful beverage, we've got a few people in the chat. Chanel, Lucy Carl says, I introduced myself to David at a Memorial Day barbecue following the wine festival in 2018. #. Chanel had
That's
a great
a
time at the wine
chore.
festival and had enough of a great time that she wanted to say hello. And that's how we met. That's the first time we ever met.
Did you guys know it?
Yeah, Chanel's going to hop in here because there is also a wonderful tie-in between these delicious wines and these that moment. Also, in the chat,
Linnea.
TJ Ortiz said that sounded like a Rydell clink.
Indeed, we do use the finest Austrian crystal here at the tasting room.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Quick question though: does Sheehan make a sparkling wine?
We do not.
Okay.
The reason for that is twofold. One, one of them is selfish and one of them is financial.
Okay.
So we'll go with the financial one first. Sparkling wine equipment is extraordinarily expensive. We're talking because what you're doing in that case is you're making kind of a dry white wine usually. Then you put it in the bottle with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of yeast. You put a crown cap on it, and that sugar and yeast make the bubbles because not only does Saccharomyces our yeasty friends eat sugar and make alcohol, but they also release carbon dioxide. And so that's how the bubbles make it into your bottle of champagne.
Yeast farm.
Exactly.
Oh.
I know. Think that the next time you're popping on
Or
a delicious bottle of Gruet.
Or don't think.
So there's probably 3 reasons. One, Gruet does an excellent job at a really reasonable price, and I think we would struggle to compete with their hundreds of years of champagne knowledge, dating all the way back to the mother country. Number 2 is hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment because so making a still white wine, putting a little bit of sugar and yeast in the bottle, and putting a crown cap on, we can do it. We got that done. What is difficult is you want to get. So what happens in champagne is that all those little yeasties, they have their yeasty party, they do their yeasty farts, and
Yeasty farts called it the next band name.
and then unfortunately when the sugar runs out, so does their life. And so you then want to get all that yeast out of the bottle, and it's going to end up as an ugly smear on the side of your champagne bottle. And so there used to be actually a middle-class job in champagne called a rhythm. Not from Batman, not Jim Carrey, but somebody who would twist the bottles in such a way, they could do like 10,000 a day. They would twist on these racks and slowly shake yeast down into the neck of the bottle, where that little bit of yeast would be frozen in a like really cold solution. They would pop that crown cap off, and then they would pour a little bit of sweetened wine into the champagne. It's called dosage, which is how you make a sweeter champagne, or even normal champagne has about 1 to 2 grams of sugar added to make it more palatable. And then this is all in like less than a second. Freeze the top the crown cap, and pour the wine in, and then slam a cork in there and slam a cage on it, which requires, back in the day, really good hand-eye coordination. But these days, what it requires is really expensive.
Sean, do you know anything about wine?
Yeah, I was going to say, we've had issues with the energy. I would also like to encourage
Just
you,
learn.
please just go study a little bit about wine.
So I will tell you the third reason why we are unlikely to make sparkling wine anytime soon. I mean, never say never, but it will also make our harvest last a lot longer, because you have to pick your champagne grapes in like July, and harvest is already really hard.
Sure.
And it's already really hard, and I don't want to start working really hard in July. I would prefer to start working really hard near the end of August if I can help it.
Fair enough.
So,
Ah,
yeah, you are.
so who's the second member of the Venus Studios family?
This is our beautiful 2021 Venus Studios Cabernet Sauvignon. Bright, fruit forward, really juicy, nice dark fruit character to it. I'm really excited about this because the texture on this wine is so soft and silky. This is a tailgating cab. So we make a big, bold, reserve cab that you have to
I
basically.
tried that the last time. Here, it was delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've won the best Cabernet in the state for it. It's
really
nice.
No, we do.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
So-
awesome. But that wine, you really do have to cook. Like you've got to cook dinner. Like you don't want to just pop that thing open and start drinking it unless you've aged it for years and years. Because what makes it a reserve is these old vines, which make grapes that are more intense, more flavor, but more that tannin as well. And that tannin causes that drying sensation in your mouth. And that can be really nice when you have a steak, and you've got some bacon, and you've got something delicious on your fork. In a tailgating setting, that reserve cab would not be my go-to. This would be my go-to because it is fruit forward, it is soft, it is juicy. The way that we're able to make this wine the way that it is, which is really approachable and really tasty, right out of the bottle, don't have to age it, ready to drink right away, is twofold. One, these grapes come from younger vines, which provide more of a youthful expression of the grape, in this case Cabernet. So the Cabernet is going to be fruitier, it's going to be juicier, it's going to have less tannin as a result of being from younger vines. The other thing that we do is we actually control the temperature of fermentation. So when you ferment your tank a little bit cooler, and with red wines, cool is probably the high 70s, low 80s in Fahrenheit, whereas a warmer fermentation would be pushing 90 degrees Fahrenheit. When you ferment a little bit cooler, in this case, we fermented this cab right around like 75 to 80. You exaggerate that fruitiness, and you end up with something light, bright, really fruit forward, really tasty, perfect tailgating cab.
All right. That was a lot. That was a lot. Sean,
We have a new guest, and she doesn't even get to enjoy the same wine with us.
so let's
That's what you get for showing up late.
Cheers.
I got it.
Welcome in to Chanel Weesey Carl, who introduced herself to me after but the reason Chanel is here as we take a sip of this delicious wine. Oh my goodness, I love that. The reason that we've got Chanel here is because there is a really great, really awesome, really beneficial relationship here between Sheehan Winery and Sun Studios Foundation. Chanel, do you want to dive into a little bit on what that looks like, maybe the two of them?
Well, I'll just say Chanel works really hard, and she needs a lot.
There you go.
So it's a really like cool. It's almost impossible.
This is the wine.
No, I can't drink too much wine because I am so
Wow.
that's why I'm
Taking it easy.
no, but I think you can already tell, like, with the expertise, knowledge, talent here at the table, back in the bar.
And Lucas.
And a couple of dummies.
We're just really like tobacco, very kindred spirits. The fact that there's a foundation connection with this wine is really special because both companies, both groups of people, both teams are trying to export Mexico to the world. And I've had the privilege of talking to Sean before about the pride pride that he takes in his wines, actually holding up, I hope you have all these ribbons and trophies that they have.
They made those themselves.
Yeah, they have a forge.
We do, we have a forge in the back.
We established that.
But that's like that pride of who showed in that. So, anywhere in this country, and our wines stand up next to the best of them. That's the same thing that the Academy does when they go to Tampa in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're walking home with hardware, home food, we're making the top 3. And that's the pride that we have as New Mexicans. It's this homegrown product, that the wine and that, our seeds for like the positive future of not just soccer in New Mexico, but the prosperity that is possible for all of us. Like, we're all fighting towards that, celebrating each other, coming together with each other, it's all part of that.
I think we.
Who let you?
I do this every episode.
Thanks, studio audience. No, I think we all came out at the first meeting that we had when we brought that idea up from the ground up.
We're growing New Mexicans in New Mexico. That's right. And that's we've talked a lot, Sean, about that, and that's kind of the connection to the Academy more than anything, right? One of the things we're really proud of with the Academy is these are New Mexican kids. These are New Mexican kids who are going to represent New Mexico on that national, sometimes international stage. And your wine is doing the same thing. And I think that's really the connection. That's really what we find. You mentioned St. Patrick's, but that's where we are most. And as a result of that, when you purchase one of these, you get yourself a bottle, which are going to be on sale
at Memorial Day, at the Balloon Fiesta Park.
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend, we are going to be running a Vinos Unidos tent at Balloon Fiesta Park. We will encourage everyone to come taste the wines and come talk to us a little bit about the collaboration, about the story, about the energy that the two companies, the two groups of people, the two passionate groups of people are coming together. I'm missing the punchline or the step on it, which is that for every bottle that we sell of Vinos Unidos wine, $1 will be donated to Somos Unidos and the Youth Soccer Academy, which is awesome.
Making sure that these kids have access to the game regardless, because for those of you who don't know, and I think everybody watching probably does understand, probably does, in case you don't, the Mexican Academy is one of the few elite level academies in the entire nation that is entirely scholarship. So no kid, no matter how much money their parents make, if they make the team, they cannot pay for travel, cannot pay for training, they cannot pay for equipment. It is all scholarship from the hard work of the foundation and the Park Association.
Absolutely. No, I think I'm so excited. I've been telling everybody about the scholarship program, about the success in Tampa, about how much butt that each academy is kicking it at every level. And the idea that we can be a part of that we can contribute to that, and also to find, to have two companies, two groups of people, two passionate groups of people who are interested in doing world-class things in New Mexico just fills my heart with pride, and also means that we found like-minded people to grow together, to work together with, to get excited with, about the wine, about the product on the field. The goal is never to be good for New Mexico. The goal is to be great, period. End of story. And so to be able to partner with people, to be able to wrap our arms around you guys and have you wrap your arms around us, metaphorically. Lucas will.
So much collaboration, right? Art, music, yes. It's like, I know that there's this kind of push-pull between different people in Mexico. There's kind of the constant weird of it all, where people are like, let us do a flyover, we don't want to think too much. Something special that we want to keep to ourselves, but I think, more the merrier, and it's something that we can really wear on our shirt, we're all wearing the shield. And it's the same thing that the curse, was built on. This is just a different, special place, and you can go to Santa Fe and have different experiences. Albuquerque, have different wines, it's all beautiful, and there's so much talent, and it's people who a lot of times are self-taught, or the Mexican grit to them that we celebrate really, really hard, and we see that in the future of the sport as well.
Goodness gracious, maybe because I traveled a little bit, right? Over the weekend, that point especially, hit my heart, directly in the center, the best communities, the best places to go to, establishment. They establish what they are. And if our state, if our city, if our partnership establishes that the thing we're about is unity for the future, I can't think of a better legacy. I can't think of anything I would be more proud of as a lifelong New Mexican. Like when you come to Albuquerque, when you come to Sheehan, when you come to a United game, you realize the identity of our city and our state.
Also, bragging about New Mexico to the world, right? Sean, you and I were fortunate to get lunch with Chris Goblek, Executive Director of the New Mexico Wine Association. Do I have that right?
New Mexico wine, yeah.
Yeah, New Mexico
Yeah.
Wine. Chris is a great guy. We got lunch with him the other day at the Fuji Chef.
Absolutely.
I love that place. And one of the things that he talked about that I really, really liked is New Mexico wines in general, not everybody, but not necessarily focused on distribution outside of our state. We want people to come here. We're really proud of New Mexico. We're really proud of what we have to offer. And that's not just the wine space. That's, again, you mentioned the art space.
Come to our table.
Yeah, come here, come hang out with us, come see what New Mexico is all about. And we talked about, you, myself, and Chris, about wanting to show the world what New Mexico is. And that's giving New Mexico the full experience. It's not just wine. It's not just music. It's not just sports. When you come here, we are also collaborative across industries. We just want to show you the best of New Mexico. And how awesome is that?
That is 100% the case. The goal of my adult life was to start a winery. It's true, man. Oh, dude. Well, it was
Good job.
You know, but like it took a long time. I worked winemaker during the day at California, eventually in Encantada, and I worked waiter at Seasons in Albuquerque for 10 years. And every dollar I made in tips, minus a couple vacations, went to start the winery. I mean, shout out to the wrestlers, shout out to the brothers. Thank you for giving me a place where I could make money at night. I could work during the day, hone my craft, and spoiler alert, it's not easy to get rich making wine in New Mexico. So I was making way more money at Seasons waiting tables than I was being the head winemaker at a winery. And I won the best wine in the state for other folks too. And I was doing so well at Seasons just because the way the tipping system works and all the rest of it that I knew those. I'm reasonably trying.
I think if you can find a way to eventually come out of your shell, I think
Let's see,
Yeah,
let's
we'll
see.
see so much more.
Give me a couple more glasses left. That's what happens. But no, like honestly, their willingness to provide me with, you only have to work dinners, you have to work lunches. I know you're doing this wine thing. The whole thing to allow me to grind for 10 years to get the winery open. That was my dream of my adult life, right? And I say maybe not so humbly. That's cool. That was awesome. That was a really cool thing for me to do for me. Now, my new goal for my adult life is to help put New Mexico wine on the map in a national, international sense. And that isn't just me. That's all the wineries working together. That's our friends at Noisy Water, that's our friends at Mavak, that's our friends at Cruet, that's all of our friends throughout the industry getting together, wrapping our arms around each other. We're going, my assistant winemaker, Ann, is sitting over there. She was the one who was pouring wine for us earlier. She's going to New Orleans in a couple weeks, and she's going to showcase not just our wines, but wines from across the state to people in New Orleans, and they are going to be blown away because our wines are awesome. They really are. They're very good.
I would love to. I remember hearing about, I don't know if this is just like a theory, but I remember hearing about years and years ago, French wines are some of the best wines in the world. And then they had these incredible, like the best wine snobs in the entire world. They all got together and they had a wine snob, not a good term.
No, that's probably
All right, man.
keep going.
Aficionados.
Wine aficionados.
See, I'm losing your work.
It's
No,
very
dude, it's cool. It's cool.
It was so funny to me.
The wine aficionados, people who know wine, did a blind tastings between California wines and French wines, with the expectation that the French wines would be blown away with blind tastings, and California wines not only kept up, but they considered the better one. I want to see that.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I want
Let's
to
do it.
so bad.
Absolutely.
I want to put our wines against the best wines, quote unquote, in the world, and see blind taste tests. Let's see how it goes.
Well,
I love that.
we did that with our reserve cab a couple years ago. The 19 vintage of our reserve cab was incredible. It was really beautiful, really nice, and we poured it blind for sommeliers here, and we poured it blind
Sommelier,
again.
not snap.
Yeah, sommelier is the fancy.
Got
That's what Ann is. Ann's a sommelier. She's
Not a snob.
No, she's not. But we poured our reserve cap side by side blind with Silver Oak Napa and with Camus. And 3 of the 4 sommeliers who participated preferred our wine.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
3 out of 4 for this wine. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back with a stupid silly game and to meet the 3rd member of the Studios. Before we let you go, Chanel, anything you want to add from the foundation perspective on this partnership, this incredible wine, or anything related to United Academy this weekend? By the way, start off the season with
They're incredible. From a more tactical standpoint, there are maybe 1 or 2 I posted on my Instagram story. I'll put it in the chat as well. There's a sign-up sheet to one of the warm welcome faces actually at the wine festival.
Yes.
So a couple slots, I'll be there, soon to be out there.
To get your butt out there.
Yes, it's we need like smileys, people who love the foundation, love United, love the wine, and want to share that with people. Which I can think of like 10 people.
We've got a few people in chat who've already said they want to be part of it.
We've got 1,000 people in the crowd.
So,
that would be an amazing thing.
I'm going to drop the sign up. It should be really fun. The other exciting thing is that you get paid. We do welcome and you get tips or wages, but that is not something required. But it is a cool way. I know we get so many questions all the time. How do I volunteer with the foundation? How do I, help with that? And this is a pretty cool, great way to
Get out of here.
And it's fun.
Get yourself into the penalty
You want
box.
to go to the wine festival over the holiday weekend, pour some wine, hang out with some great people, have a great time, and talk about New Mexico United. Come hang out. Chanel's going to put the link in the chat here in just a few minutes, so check it out there. But thank you, Chanel, for hanging out with us for a segment.
Get out of here. Don't make any more puns. That's my purview.
Lucas feels attacked.
Yeah, I feel very attacked.
We'll be right back with a stupid, silly game in segment 3. And again, we will be the 3rd member of our Studios family. Stick around.
Well, segment 3 has always been my purview. PwC.
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, stupid silly game.
Stupid, silly game time.
This one is especially stupid, especially silly. Doesn't even have a time. But I just got so hung up on.
I mean, it's got a little tie based upon the conversations we've already had in this episode so far. But before we get to that, Linnea Romero, producer Linnea, has put in the chat to sign up to volunteer if you would like to pour.
Producer Linnea.
Shout out to Linnea. If you would like to pour at the festival this coming weekend, it's 4 days, right? You don't have to do 3. You don't
Saturday,
have to do
Sunday,
all.
Monday.
You can just sign up for 1 day. You can sign up for 3 if you want. You want to hang out with some fun people, pour some great wines, have a lot of great opportunities to
Tell a
talk
great
about
story.
Tell a great story. Make a good pun. Sign up. Linnea has put that in the chat.
Make a bad one.
Chanel and Linnea both put the same name in the chat.
I just wrong.
Oh, pull it. What's that?
My name is wrong.
All right, ignore Linnea's link. Please use Chanel's link. We're professionals here, folks. And we are meeting right now, and unfortunately, a fourth member of the Vinos Unidos. And Sean, who's this?
Beautiful. This is our Vino Blanco. This is, or has been, this style, and basically these grapes from this vineyard has been the most popular wine since we started the winery. You may know it by a different name, although this is a little different, a little fresher and brighter, but you may know it as Cielo Dulce from our Sheehan wines. This one is a little bit more Moscato and a little bit less Gewürztraminer, but it's Riesling, Moscato, and Gewürztraminer blend. Bright, juicy, fruit forward, lots of floral component to it, as well as a nice honeyed and mandarin orange character. What I'm really proud of with all of the sweet wines that we make is that they're not that Kool-Aid sweet, that cloyingly sweet, that sweet that kind of hurts your face.
Lucas's Boone's Farm.
Yeah, we
blue wine.
So
Robert, I'll never.
the lovely Anne.
No, it was DJ Ortiz who did it. I'm sorry, Robert. You caught us right there.
I mean, you can blame everyone. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Our lovely in-house sommelier, Ann Stecker, and I, that's the best part of the job is blending up the wines. Most people think we sit around and drink all day, but in fact, the winery is mostly forklifts and pressure washers and cleaning things. That being said, about 1 to 2% of our time, we do get to line out a ton of glasses and make the very best wine we can. And with the sweet wines, what we're always striving for is balance. What we want is a balance between the sweetness, the natural fruit of the grape, and the acidity that's in the wine that provides kind of a freshness.
I can tell you, Sean, I have had white wines that are so overwhelmingly sickly sweet. And I don't get me wrong, I like sweet stuff. I like sweets, I like pastries. I like, all kinds of like it. But yeah, I've had wines that taste like fruit juice mixed with Kool-Aid, mixed with Hawaiian punch.
Well, and then the booze sticks out too.
Yeah.
Like if you make it too sweet, it gets kind of boozy. Like even if it's 11% alcohol, 12% alcohol, it's my sense that what we are really looking for, maybe this is too honest or too graphic, but honestly, we're looking to make, like with all of the wines, the goal is for it to sit on your tongue as kind of like this round pearl of wine. So it's really soft and really smooth as, like, it goes down smooth, it's dangerous, you can drink a whole bottle if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
That's the goal. The goal is
Love that. So let's have our first sip of that. That was a fancy wine sommelier type of sniff.
I know.
What am I with?
We can't help
right
ourselves.
here.
All right, here we go. Cheers. Ooh, that is good. Again, it's sweet, but it's not that like what I was describing earlier. It's like it's
Cloying.
Cloying is the
word.
yep,
Like
it's
I
good.
love the word.
a good
Like
verb
that.
slash adjective.
We're fancy, but we also were like,
Yeah,
it was all goopy, like it's all just sticks on your tongue.
Yeah.
It's not good. This
No.
is like fresh, and you're ready for the next sip. You got 7 minutes in.
Also, one thing that's really, really cool with all three of these Vinos Negros, really great labels that were created in collaboration between New Mexico United and
Shout out Eric Lovato.
Shout out
Like
Eric Lovato.
He's an absolute beast.
Yeah, he
He's
did a great job.
And
He
you
did a
can
great
see
job.
that on the screen there. If you're listening to the podcast, that you can't see it because that's an audio medium.
Well, Eric is not going to see it either. He's hustling someone at Google Place. But he's a graphic designer.
Yeah, absolutely. Question, actually not a question, but a statement here from Desert Fire. Also this Saturday, the U23 is playing Las Cruces. Come out. Big shout out to Las Cruces, but also to the U23. They played their first match at Taos this past weekend.
Winner. Chicken.
There it is, 2-0, their final score. So the Academy and the U23 is winning at Taos this weekend. Both of those teams undefeated. If you're not going to be in Albuquerque for the wine festival, be down in Cruces, go see the U23. It's going to be a lot of fun.
The theme of this weekend, again, I was out of town, but I was keeping up with everything you did. Shout out to you, Dean. Great coverage on everything. Great coverage.
I like to do the tweets. It's fun.
Great coverage to the SUF on everything, but like my takeaway from everything was the kids are all
The kids are all right. Let's go. And again, every time you buy a bottle of Vinos Unidos, any of the three, you'll be supporting those kids. Well, all right, let's get to our stupid, silly game. Also, DJ Ortiz made a joke about the Miracle Whip that I'm gonna.
Oh no, we're done. We're done.
Yeah, we're not doing any Miracle Whip. Stop it. Stop it. I'm offended. All right, stupid, silly game time. Lucas, take us.
Sean, I say this with all love in my heart. You are a dork.
Yep. I'll own it all day.
That's how you treat guests on your show. Call them names.
But I too am a dork.
Well, that's just true.
Yes. But it's not about wine, which is your dorkdom. My dorkdom is chess. Shout out Devin Sanders. One of the most popular opening moves you can ever play in chess is pawn to e5.
Sucks.
So today,
This
for our stupid silly
This whole
game,
thing sucks.
it's a good game. You just don't like this setup. So today's game is Sean to e5. What we're gonna do is we're gonna define a word. It's an E word, and it has 5 letters in it.
E5.
E5.
See what he did there?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forty
It's a
him-
long walk.
40 Himpley, DWC, tell me the 5-letter word that starts with E and fits this definition. A large bird of prey with massive hooked bill and large broad wings, renowned for its keen sight.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna.
It's
Oh,
I'm
you're.
gonna,
It's
I'm,
your
gonna,
turn.
I'm gonna add an S on the end of this one and say E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Go bird, go. Stop, Linnea. That's like your 10th football team.
Go Birds.
Linnea.
Linnea loves the Eagles.
Yeah.
Go Birds.
So,
You're gonna give him a layup, and then mine's gonna be like entropy.
Although this is just
Great.
that's so feeling.
that would be a
That would be a 6 that you do.
All right, here we go. So if you get, how about let's say, if you get 4 or more, you will cut off his hair. The hair he has been growing for how long? Over a year. You look like when you order a samurai from Wish. Sorry, that was too much.
Just the right amount.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I like that.
No,
No,
I think
no, seriously.
that's just.
It's really
Well, we should raise the stakes then. If
I just got it.
Well, I'm sitting right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been growing my hair for a couple of weeks. If I get 3 or fewer, I will commit.
All right.
I will commit to getting a haircut.
4 or more, Lucas is gonna cut his hair.
All right, number 1, Sean. It's an E word. It's 5 letters. The planet on which we live. The world. Earth. Correct.
Ooh, that was a hard one.
I've been accused.
Yeah,
Linnea's keeping count.
finding the.
J-Scribe is figuring out another way to run the car out of gas. Linnea's keeping count.
I will say, Lucas, in the history of your stupid silly games, it is difficult to find the right balance. Sometimes it's too hard. Sometimes it's too easy. Finding just the right level is.
Well, yeah,
we've gotten the sweet spot a few times.
I have a little bit of time today, so I felt like that maybe is a good gradient on this one, but
These kind of get harder as you go on.
we'll do our best.
All right, here we go. Number 2, you're 1 for 1 so far, Sean. Happening or done before the usual or expected time. Happening or done before the usual or expected time.
Early.
Early.
That's correct.
Woo!
Look at this guy.
All right. Number 3, you're 2 for 2. You only need 2 more to make you get a haircut.
No pressure.
Also, your home. Listen to chat. Your home at Congress Salon in the heart of Old Town. That's just right around the corner from me. That's where I get my haircut. Shout out Ben.
If I have to go see Ben and Katie, that is
It's a good place.
that's a great way to look at that.
Absolutely. All right. Number 3, Lucas.
Of earlier birth or greater age.
5-letter word starts with E.
Of earlier birth or greater age.
Studio audience. Peanut gallery over here. You're a sommelier. Have some respect.
If I am of earlier birth date or a greater age, I am your
Elder.
Hey!
Oh, thank you for
You really want to get a
helping me
haircut.
phone a friend.
You
there.
really
I
want to get
appreciate
I
it.
just really want to see Ben.
Just my friends. All right, number 4. You're 3 for 3. If you get this, Lucas needs a haircut. I mean, that's not true. Lucas needs a haircut. Lucas will get a haircut if you get this one. Number 4. To run away secretly with the intention of getting married, usually without prejudice.
Ooh.
Hello, Lucas.
Oh, that's it.
You.
Game over. Bye.
You're getting a
Snip,
haircut,
snip,
buddy.
snip.
I'll see you guys soon. Congress Salon.
Hey, coming over
Better
soon.
send me a text.
A little behind the scenes thing. Lucas is getting he just needed a haircut. We just wanted to ask.
So I'll see you guys on Wednesday. It's been set up.
Number 5.
It's way too positive. It's nonsense. One that is
Please skip.
oh no,
That's okay. Just go with that one.
the joint of a human.
Oh, you did it.
Elbow.
All right, we got that one. And do the other one that Lucas said.
Antagonistic to another.
No insults.
Yeah.
He's already won. Antagonistic. 5-letter word. Start.
blanking. I give. What is it?
Lucas is my
Enemy. Oh, darn it. There you go.
all right. Number 7.
Sean.
Sean, 55. All right, Sean, you are 5 of 6. You've already won the game. Let's get these ones out of the way.
Let's do it.
Number 7, a proclamation having force of law.
Edict.
Edict.
Oh
Look
my
at that. The man didn't know enemy, but he knew edict.
Wow.
And is shocked.
and
You
falling down
shocked
over
the
there.
sommelier.
Yeah.
All right, and number 8.
Color and Sean.
Number 8, the hardest one. An event or a time marked by an event that begins a new period or development. This is a tough one. This one's tough. This was a good balance.
Yeah,
This is sharp.
the words I'm thinking of only have like 3 or 4. I'm like era, eon.
The synonym to those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Epoch.
Go on!
God, did you see one of our phones?
No, dude, no, but I got to talk it out.
That is
I got to talk it out.
You know what I need to get?
He didn't get it.
I need the
Enemy, I can't get enemy, but I can.
We got Epoch.
I need the airport sound. It's important.
Chase Scribe, make it happen.
Robert Romero did that one. He said right there. So 7 out of 8. That's pretty dang good.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll get my haircut.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm gonna do that thing that I was gonna do anyway, just for you.
That's love.
Well, we wanna before we wrap up here, we wanna say first of all, thank you.
Beautiful.
Second of all, thank you so much for one, celebrating New Mexico in such a way that makes people proud every single day. 2, taking that talent, taking that celebration and turning it into something that makes the lives of kids better. And that's what this partnership is doing. It's making the lives of kids better. It's allowing us to celebrate something that we're all proud of, which is growing this state, growing its people, making people's lives better. Thank you for doing it. And then 3rd, the thing that we like to do at the end of every episode is give our guests the floor for a minute. Shout out whoever you want, whatever you want. You got a cause you like, you want to shout out your mom, whatever it is. The floor is yours.
And we're gonna hold you to a minute.
Oh yeah, get the timer going. I'm gonna take a deep breath like it's the Oscars.
You're already 10 seconds in. Sean.
Oh
Let's go.
wow. Well, I got to shout out Mama Sheehan first
Go
and
on.
foremost. Oh, of course, man. She's the #1 advocate for the winery, and she is responsible for my existence. So I really got to shout her out. I got to shout out Ann Becker sitting over there. My COVID miracle. She would not be with us if not for a chance meeting of friends, and she was working as a sommelier in Boston, making buku bucks, and decided she was ready to shed the golden handcuffs and come out, hang out with us and make world-class wine in New Mexico. Shout out to Joe Reyes, our the guy who farms our vineyard, the entire Reyes family, who keep us with beautiful grapes to farm. Shout out all my growers, like Gear Miller, Scott Bannister. I'll go down the list of all the people. Stan Bader, like all these people who are providing us with the starting material to make beautiful, beautiful wines. And last but not least, shout out to the wonderful people who continue to support us, who continue to buy and drink our wines. God bless all of you. Like, this is my dream come true. Like, well, being on this podcast, yes. But honestly, like, making awesome New Mexico wine and having a blast doing it and having wonderful people to help in that process and be a part of our winery family, that is like freaking dream come true. So thank you guys.
Yeah, come out here. The tasting room is in Old Town, just off the plaza. It's a great spot. We had our Christmas party here last year, had a great time. I've been out here, I think, 6 times now. People here, whether you are a newbie to wine, whether you are a sommelier, whatever your level of wine is, they are welcoming. They want you to come on out. They want you to just be proud of the awesome stuff they make. So come on out. And in addition to that, this weekend, is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or
Friday, Saturday. No, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yes.
At Balloon Fiesta Park. Doors open at noon. Pro tip: get there early. The lines are much shorter at noon than they are at 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So if you want to come and taste quite a few different wines from quite a few different wonderful wineries, we are running 3 different tents at the Memorial Day Festival at Balloon Fiesta Park. We have our Vinos Unidos tent. Hit that one first. That's the most important. We also have our Festival Favorites tent, where you will see things like Cielo Dulce and Danza del Fuego, Olfeist, the wines that are our biggest and best sellers. And we're running a reserve tent where we have our fanciest wines. So the reserve tent will be connected to the Vinos Unidos tent. So you can enjoy Vinos Unidos and come right around and make yourself a sommelier.
Beautiful. I know we normally do our wrap up, but I just gotta say,
Yeah.
this dude makes me damn proud.
Amen to that.
Very similar to this shield that he's wearing, very similar to everything that he does. Like, we have people in this state, these are New Mexicans, I'll go to bat for them.
I'll take one of them against 10 from any others. Yeah, cool. Sean, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, Sheehan Winery, for providing these incredible wines for a wonderful cause. Get yours beginning this weekend at the Memorial Day Wine Fest, and then beyond that, support the Somos News Foundation, support these incredible kids in the Academy. Lucas, we will be back next week. You don't even know who our guest is, but I do, and I'm going to tell you right now, our guest next week, Christian Nava.
No
He's
kidding.
going to be coming on the podcast, hanging out with him. We're going to talk about Academy products.
Yes.
Something. Excited to have him on. But until then, Lucas, somos unidos.
We are united.
United.
Unidos.